Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Spiritual Deep Dive in 5 podcast. My name is Greg, and I'm one of the pastors here at Christ Church of Flagstaff. And what I wanted to think about today and reflect on is really those verses or chapters of the Bible that you hold true when going through seasons of doubt. I know in my life, there's been many times where I'm like, man, I am really betting a lot on these few chapters that we have from a long time ago. And what I always come back to is this to the prophet Isaiah. He wrote in the Bible 700 years before Jesus was born. And there's a prophecy in Isaiah 53 that really helps me to refocus and just say, it's not a coincidence that this man was born and did what he did and died the way he did, just as it was written in Isaiah. My great-great-grandfather was in line to become a rabbi in Poland, and he was going through school. And while he was reading Isaiah 53, he noticed in the margin that someone had written, "To whom does the prophet refer?" And when he asked his teachers about that, he was met with physical abuse and just told to never ask that question again. So this sparked his interest because of that abuse. Like, since there was such a vitriol reaction to that, he knew that he needed to find out who that person was. And eventually he found out that and believed that that was Jesus, and he became a missionary. So it's just, in my family, we've always held on to this verse, this chapter, when we are walking through those seasons, because it was written so long before Christ was even on earth. So I'm going to read this, but I also want you to spend some time thinking about those verses or chapters that you can hold on to from the Bible that you know are true, that convince you to the reality of Jesus. Isaiah 53, who has believed our message? And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? He grew up before him like a tender shoot, and like a root out of dry ground. He had no beauty or majesty to attract us to him, nothing in his appearance that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by mankind, a man of suffering and familiar with pain, like no one from whom people hide their faces. He was despised, and we held him in low esteem. Surely he took up our pain and bore our suffering. Yet we considered him punished by God, stricken by him, and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was on him, and by his wounds we are healed. We all, like sheep, have gone astray. Each of us has turned to our own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and afflicted, yet he did not open his mouth. He was led like a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before its shearers is silent, so he did not open his mouth. By oppression and judgment he was taken away. Yet who of his generation protested? For he was cut off from the land of the living. For the transgression of my people he was punished. He was assigned a grave with the wicked, and with the rich in his death. Though he had done no violence, nor was any deceit in his mouth, yet it was the Lord's will to crush him and to cause him to suffer. And though the Lord makes his life an offering for sin, he will see his offspring and prolong his days, and the will of the Lord will prosper in his hand. After he has suffered, he will see the light of life and be satisfied. By his knowledge, my righteous servant will justify many, and he will bear their iniquities. Therefore, I will give him a portion among the great, and he will divide the spoils with the strong, because he poured out his life unto death and was numbered with the transgressors. For he bore the sins of many and made intercession for the transgressors. So my prayer today is that when you doubt and when you have questions about, the reality of this life-changing, eternal saving, that Jesus has given us. I just pray that you would read through and just find those verses for yourself that you can, in hard times, go back to and just realize that we can always lean into the truth of Jesus and what he did for us.
Thanks for taking in today's Deep Dive in 5. I hope this content today was impactful to you. We would love it if you would like, share, write a review, just spread the word. We want to get this amazing content in the hands of your friends and my friends, everyone in Northern Arizona, and you can help make that happen today.